I hate that those two people, like, you have Eminem and Lady Gaga that decided to come out with a song named Abracadabra, and I cannot tell you how much that infuriates me.
Oh, it's just the hook on Lady Gaga's one where I'm just like, this shit's catchy for whatever reason.
Lady
And then
Gaga's is great.
Gaga, dude. She's
talented.
Yeah.
I love her. Did you see the music video?
I have not.
I just saw when she's sitting down doing this thing.
Oh yeah.
Abracadabra. It was all on TikTok. Anyway, what's up, anime? We're just here BSing before the show starts. Welcome back to another episode 12 of Eat the Cake Anime. And this week, as promised, we are talking about the projects that are coming down the pike this year, 2025, that we're excited about. I think we all did a great job. It would have been easy to just talk about the sequels that are coming out: Solo Leveling, Fire Force, Demon Slayer, so forth and so on. But we're hitting you up with brand new anime IPs that are coming to the screen this year. So without ado, should we do a shot before the opening?
Yes.
Do you think that's how we should do from now on? We'll do the shot.
I think we should do that always.
All right. EJ, you are a man of great wisdom and nerves. You don't have a shot? Oh, I was about to do a toast.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
I can't.
You don't have anything?
Can you do water?
I do have a drink. I have
we can do that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, good. So
give us a toast, my man.
To outstanding looking future for shows that we're interested in. So some excitement and good information, good friends.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cheers to that.
Or bonsai even. Well. Yeah, it was. I really poured a little bit too much in there. Delicious either way. Patron, you never let me down. But let us go. Get started, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 12, Eat the Cake Anime. Let's go.
The following is a presentation of the That Feeling Podcast Network, reminding you to always question the answers.
Well. Where do we start? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. Jackie, what do you got? Actually, you know what? Since this is a episode dedicated to shows that are upcoming, why don't we go ahead and do this? This is a full show based on Put This on Your Radar, inspired by the one and only Kenpachi, who is on the mend after having some surgery. So if you're checking in, hope everything is going well with you, Kenpachi, and looking forward to getting you back on the show soon. But, ladies and gentlemen, let us roll into Put This on Your Radar. There we go. What you got for us?
All right. The first one I was going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So I'm switching it to this one. Hi, Kenpachi.
Hey, man, what's up?
What up, everybody?
It's Thirsty Thursday.
It is.
This one's called Apocalypse Hotel. So couldn't find a lot of information on it, but basically it's set in a hotel in Ginza, a town on Earth where humanity has disappeared and civilization has collapsed. The hotel, called Galaxy Tower, is still in operation, and employees led by Yachio, a hotelier robot, work there. Yachio and his team work tirelessly in a hotel with no guests, waiting for the owner to return and for the time to welcome humans again, but now a small miracle is about to happen to them. So I'm not huge on I shouldn't say apocalypse animes, but some of them like I've seen them not do very well. Zom 100 is the most recent one that I think was okay, but I actually couldn't get into it. But some of them like I think the most recent one that I watched that I liked was High School DxD. But this one looks really interesting. It's the interesting part I thought is that the studios that are creating it is Cyber Agent and Cygames Pictures. So if no one knows what they are, it's because they're still fairly new. They're companies in Japan that mainly create a lot of video games on your mobile devices. That's what they're highly known for. And Cygames Pictures is known for creating a lot of really, really great video games, such as, if you haven't heard it before, Princess Connect, Redive, Shadowverse, some Jujutsu Kaisen, Phantom Parade. And I guess a lot of people are highly anticipating this anime because of these studios specifically and the stories that they usually create with these animes. It sounds really cool. I don't know if it's going to be like a slice of life kind of thing. The genre says that it's apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic fiction. It seems interesting though. A lot of people that I was reading, like the comments that they were making on Reddit, is that they are like, I wonder if this is going to be kind of like a what's the one with the kids that get eaten?
Promise Neverland.
Yeah, Promise Neverland, where it like kind of starts off a little bit like, yeah, they're just taking care of things, and then they just switch a banger on you, where like now everyone that was working there dies, and then she and whoever else that shows up, potentially the human, has to like now survive in this apocalyptic world. I did listen to the song opening by that artist Aiko, and it sounded okay. They didn't really open for anything else. Not a lot of information on the creators because there's no manga, there's no light novel, there's nothing that exists. This is a original anime that's coming out, and Cygames Pictures is creating an anime studio in Japan. So this is one of their newer animes. That actually a lot of the animes are coming out this year. You'll see Cygames Pictures as some of the studios that I have another one on the list I'll talk about later that they're also animating.
Catalog up. Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of people are looking forward to it. But there is a spin-off manga series that is supposed to come out in April 2025, which is the same date or month that this anime is supposed to come out, is April 2025. But yeah, like a lot of people are like that I've read. I hadn't never heard of Cygames Pictures or Cyber Agent myself, so I had to do a little research. But then I'm very familiar with a lot of the projects that they made. The biggest one that they're famous for is Brave Bang Bravern. Bravern is like what a lot of people call it. I don't know what that is, so this is for anyone else that might know.
We talked about that on the last episode.
Yeah.
With the,
we did. I forgot. I knew it sounded familiar. I was like, I don't know why that sounds familiar, but that's right. So that's the biggest one that they are most known for, is the Brave Bang Bravern, and how the positive reception that anime has already gotten, that now everyone's like, I can't wait till the next one and to see how it goes. So I'm really excited for it. I like it when studios create an original anime and you have no idea what it's going to be about because there's nothing that exists. So this is one, and it's the most soonest one. A lot of the ones I have are a lot of spring 2025. There's very few that I have that are like fall or an unknown time.
Yeah.
Well, the audience thinks, I don't know if they have heard of this one or what they think of apocalyptic kind of science fiction-y. Surprisingly, a lot of what I was interested in are that on my list, which is weird enough because I don't actually watch a lot of science fiction.
Well, there's been that kind of a focus in media in general with AI and or artificial life, basically. I mean, going as simple as Five Nights at Freddy's kind of AI, or artificial life machines with a spirit inside, all the way to like Terminator Zero, where you got like all this stuff, AI coming into consciousness. So you never know; it could be along those lines as well. In the absence of man, what would these machines be like? Where do they start to get their own inspiration from? Because up until now, I mean, AI pretty much needs humans for all manner of input for inspiration, like all the art ones, all the chat GPT and stuff. You still need to give it something to
Have
work
that
with.
human interface.
Yeah. So what would the world be like with this AI if there were no humans anymore? They've got to come up with their own inspiration, their own goals and dreams. Not necessarily a slice of life situation, but more of like just an exploration into the existential question of, what is being alive? I mean, are they living? So you never know, but those are always interesting because I mean, like you mentioned, the Zom 100 thing. I know they have a live action as well on Netflix, but it I love zombie stuff, just like mainly games and so forth, because it's easier to just deal with blowing up a bunch of dead people. But it is a played out genre as far as a post apocalyptic. So this kind of gives you that something different. So I think that's kind of neat in the aspect of apocalyptic.
Yeah, I'm looking at the synopsis underneath the trailer for it on YouTube, and it's saying that it's set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity disappeared. Nature has reclaimed the Earth in this desolate setting. A lone hotel stands in Tokyo's Ginza district, defying the collapse of civilization. The story follows the mysterious events surrounding this hotel, offering a blend of isolation and survival against a decaying backdrop. So I always find, you have the shows that start kind of like this. The premise is kind of, I guess, not exciting off the rip. Like there's no,
Hmm.
antagonist off the rip. Like your young
Yeah.
protagonist is struggling to get revenge against. It's just people trying to survive in this desolate time. And shows like this, I know they start slow and it takes a while for it to grow. But shows like this, like I feel like this would probably be one of the I would think it'd probably be one of the better ones for me because I'm always down for like a apocalyptic, like how are you
Mhm.
survive Last of Us type thing, I Am
Oh yeah,
Legend,
yeah.
things along
Yeah.
those lines, Walking Dead. So I'm looking forward to it, and it says April 8th is when it's supposed to appear.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
it looks beautiful. I mean, the art is definitely beautiful. So
Yeah, I looked up the director and who's writing it. I couldn't find a lot of information on the director, Kana Shundo, but who it's written by, Shigeru Murakoshi. He or she wrote and directed works such as Zombieland Saga, Kakegurui, which I love Kakegurui and how weird it is. And I've never seen this or even heard of it, but Azuri Striker Gunvolt. That's a pretty wide. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty wide
it is. That's a
breadth
huge.
of
Yeah,
things, which
He
is
like
it's a
doesn't
good
really
thing
have
though.
a niche,
yeah,
just whatever's clever to me. Like I'll give it
yeah.
a shot.
Which is great because Zombieland Saga I've heard great things about, and Kakegurui is really great as well. So that I'm excited for this one, and I think that it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Dope. All right, my man EJ, what you got, bro?
All right. So for my first pick, funny, Jackie mentioned not having a whole lot of stuff to go on, and actually Kipachi helped me with some of this stuff. I was throwing out ideas and seeing that we're doing on the radar here. That calling out to make a shout out to Kipachi on that. But Lazarus is the series that I wanted to cover. It's by the creator of Cowboy Bebop. Watanabe is debuting this in 2025. There's very little known about it, but the director for John Wick is also on board as an action director. It is a cyberpunk series, Lazarus. It's the production company's Mappa.
Oh,
Shinichiro Watanabe. It premieres in April with a question mark. That's not a um, exact on as far as what date or what day. But right now they're saying April. It's going to premiere from Adult Swim. So I believe that they're also, of course, they're probably going to have it come out on a Crunchyroll and everything as well. But Adult Swim is supposedly the premier platform for it. So,
well, I don't know because when Uzumaki came out, I don't think that came out on Crunchyroll. It was only HBO and
okay, they might only have it for Adult Swim.
and Adult Swim.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It might be another one of those exclusive releases, but I mean, they got
I'm
my
down
interest.
for it.
The art, when you look at the and they don't have a whole lot like you know how they occasionally put out first look. You know, you'll get a 5 to 10 minute clip of
I love
what's
the art
coming.
style.
But I love this art style exactly. And like Kenpachi had mentioned when I was throwing ideas out. He said, you know, Cowboy Bebop had such a great integration of music to bring about a vibe, and I feel like if they do the same thing here, we're gonna get to, you know, that feel where the music is almost like another character within the series that brings you along or you know, hyper conveys the moment. So the art, like I said, is beautiful. They're not giving you a lot to go on as far as the backstory, but it's set in a cyberpunk future. 2052 is the year, and apparently they were working on some sort of vaccine or medical treatment to take care of, I'm guessing, some sort of viral infection. But apparently, the only thing they've stated is that it backfires for one reason or another. What that entails, we'll have to wait and see. But as you can tell, the art is amazing. Action sequences are going to be great, just like you know, going back and watching Cowboy Bebop. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be.
I can't wait. This already looks
April 5th,
amazing.
midnight. Okay, so they did update the day. You're right. It's Max only. Okay, so it is an exclusive for Max.
Nice. Yeah, I'm stoked. Like 2 key words you said, Mappa. I'm like, bet.
Yeah, exactly. Mappa's
Which
on it.
good. That means they're not gonna do what Adult Swim did to Uzumaki.
I was about to say, Jacci Uzumaki like was one of your you know most mentioned anime of
I thought
2024.
I thought Jacci was going to go
Eric
Luigi
said,
some people for real. I thought she was going to show up in Japan, Luigi some fools out in the middle.
like,
when like, oh god.
I thought Ninja Kamui is on Netflix.
No, it was Max too.
It was Max. It was like
like it's on Netflix now though, because I thought I saw it on Netflix
so, yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying that series for the first 3 episodes.
I didn't watch it. I actually did not. I was going to, but because of everything that you guys were saying, I didn't waste my time.
If you watch the first 3 episodes, it's great. And then just
I can't do that.
She's like,
I can't do that. I would have to commit. I'm upset. But to go back on like the Lazarus though, when you said Adult Swim though, I was like,
yeah.
They're bringing Toonami. They're making Toonami great again.
They're trying to make bring Toonami back.
Now you say Mappa though, like now I'm like, okay, it's just streamed on. That's we're good.
They're just trying to, I think it's kind of like you mentioned with these other game industry and other media groups trying to get into the fold. They're building their catalog, and I think a lot of now it's going to be a lot of people's scrambling to grab up the best properties, the best IPs that come out. And if you see something from you know, the creator of Cowboy Bebop, you're going to jump on it, especially probably they want some flagship shows to carry their, you know, new Toonami. So, you know,
everybody's looking for that Demon Slayer they can just
make.
Oh
or
yeah.
Dandadan. I mean,
I think that Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, just it set the standard now.
Yeah.
Just and Demon Slayer's not even ufotable. And to be honest, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't even heard of another anime being animated by ufotable in a while.
That's true. Like I think because they used to dabble, I think it was like they would really do a lot of work with the Fate series is where a lot of the work was at. But I think the last Fate series that I think was exclusive to Netflix, I don't think ufotable messed around with that one. I think they were just focused on Demon Slayer.
Yeah, like I'm not seeing anything.
I think Fate's having a not a reboot, but like an offshoot. This year they actually had one of those upcoming shows is a splinter from the Fate series. So I don't know if they're going to carry that, or like you mentioned, is it going to be Netflix only? And it's not have anything to do with football. I don't know. I
mean,
the only thing that they are animating this year is a movie called Witch on the Holy Night, also known as Mihoyo, and it's a film based on Fate's Stay Night.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only other thing they're doing this year.
So, I mean, because they're cranking out what, 4 movies for Demon Slayer?
3.
So, I mean, the whole studio's probably, synced a lot of their resources and money into getting that out there, because you're doing big time production for actual movie theater release. That's something that's going to take a lot of their effort. So,
100%.
I think Adult Swim and Max are really smart though, because they are doing what other streaming services do, where it's like you can only watch it on this, and like you said, it's bringing back an audience to Toonami and Adult Swim, and not only that, it's also, which I think Max lost a lot of money since they haven't been like, there's no Game of Thrones anymore. You don't have House of Dragon season 2 is pretty disappointing for a lot of people, and I don't know what else they have besides like Severance, which I heard Severance is really good, but I think that they're trying to now like have an anime community themselves, and this is one way to be really smart about it, is bring back a little bit of the nostalgia of the 90s and the 2000s, especially that Cowboy Bebop era, and then you own exclusive rights to things like that, and that is definitely going to bring a lot of people onto your service, because I know that like animation styles like this, besides like Vinland Saga and stuff like that, like it's not very as common. And I like that they had the colors too, because that's very reminiscent of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I mean, it's smart to connect it to Adult Swim and Toonami, because one, you just grabbed a bunch of Gen X and a bunch of millennials that was their their go-to or their original experience with anime. You grab those titles, you're automatically going to have people zero in on it. Then you throw out something with nostalgia that reflects back to Cowboy Bebop, which has such popularity that, I mean, Netflix was willing to make their live action version, So obviously there's a fan base out there, and I think Max is going to capitalize on it, because, I mean, you see the growing from young adult to, early to mid 20s, getting the really becoming a lot more involved with anime, a lot more aware. So it's definitely a route. If you're trying to carry, you want to expand your streaming services, you got to have something. Exactly. I'm with you, Chris. If Master Shake,
can you imagine? I just hope they don't do, if they ever brought back like a reboot of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, don't do to it what y'all did to Rick and Morty, because that shit is,
I didn't see that
god awful.
Rick and Morty anime thing.
Oh, did they? I didn't see it.
Bad. Don't watch it.
But Aqua Teen Hunger Force, they bring back Master Shake, man. I'm on it.
Sorry, Willie, you were trying to say something earlier. We kept.
No, I was just saying the it's kind of pros and cons, because these different streaming services are going to be in a bidding war for these things, which gives the studio more money, which helps them out, pays the company, the studio, the animators, hopefully the writers, all that stuff, a little bit more, so they get compensated a little better. But for most people who are upset, you see it during the NFL season, when the NFL is like, game on Prime, game on Peacock, game on this, game on Paramount. Why am I so many streaming services? And I'm just like, bro, I just pay the money. But I know a lot of people are just upset because Crunchyroll was the go-to, and like people just had Netflix by default, and then you were just set, right? You just had Netflix and Crunchyroll. But now things are all over the place, like 1,000 Year Blood War is not on Crunchyroll, it's on Hulu / whatever,
Disney Plus.
It's already starting.
Disney Plus is creating their own animes. It's
so you just gotta be on top of things and see where things are at, and like with Ninja Kamu, like you just wait a while, like it'll end up on something else, but you have to be willing to wait and miss out on a lot of stuff waiting for it to show up over on,
It is a good story though. I have to give, I mean, Kenpachi mentioned that. Ninja Commune's got a good story, and the first few episodes are great. It's just until when it gets to the whole merger of mech and person, and it's just it loses me there because I never put ninjas and mechs together because.
Oh, and then you've seen shows where mechs are done way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
I will say to anyone that's watching though, if the idea of extra streaming services turns you off, I did one night. I was like, let me see how much it costs for just regular cable and then like some add-ons because you're not going to have everything with cable and also internet. And it's actually still more expensive than if you have your regular internet, right? Which internet's always been separate. I think the last time it was ever together with a cable package was back in the early 2000s, and that shit was trash. So if you have your internet one way and your cables one way, like it is still so expensive. So even going with your streaming services, if you're okay with a few ads, you're still spending less than like 60, 50 bucks on like the streaming services you need to watch the things that you need.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in a way,
now if you add YouTube TV into it, like you're fucked. Like that's $80 plus like everything else that you have. Like that's a thing.
But in a way, kind of like what Willie was talking about, it might sort through. Like I've recently noticed some posts on different anime chat rooms and stuff where people are like, there's just so much. Well, in this situation, when these corporations and these different streaming companies are starting to pull what they can to make their platform the go-to, it might sort through. I mean, you got two paths that could happen: an oversaturation of garbage, or a filtering that'll bring the better stuff to the surface, and the other stuff will fade. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. So, what do you got for us, Willie?
So first up, I got a anime called Tougen Anki. Let me just go ahead and bring this to the stage. And this one stood out to me. Obviously, like I look at trailers and I'm just like, well, this looks pretty dope. So doing some research on it, it was a manga that was illustrated by Yura Shibra. Got it started Weekly Shonen Champion magazine back in 2020. And as of 2025, 22 volumes or over 200 chapters have been put in circulation. Okay. So pretty much the backstory is there's two corporations in this world. The Oni Corporation is a collective of a type of people called Onis who have special powers regarding their blood, i.e. they can turn their blood into different weapons and things like that. They can make guns and all that out of the blood, like you see in the trailer right here. So their whole thing is to combat the threat of extermination by the Momotaru Corporation. So the main character, Ichinoshi, is the inheritor of the blood of an Oni. However, he doesn't know it. He was living his whole life without it. He was adopted by a foster father, and he was attacked by a member of the other clan, the Momotaru. And his foster father jumped in. Unfortunately, he died. And on his dying breath, he was just like, oh, by the way, this is what you are. This is the blood you have in you. So almost along the lines of like Jujutsu Kaisen, there's an academy that trains people with the Oni blood in order to harness their power and get better with it. So he goes there, gets trained up. And of course, his whole thing is revenge against the Momotaru Corporation. So I thought it was pretty good. I'm looking at the animation. It's going to be animated by Studio Hibari, which is known for Assassination Classroom and Classroom of the Elite. If you haven't seen those, please go check those anime out. They are pretty dope. The funny thing about it is, and I don't know how they pulled it off, but Japan is just like, this is so successful. Let's do a stage play. So they had 2 stage plays, one in Osaka, one in Tokyo. So this is due to come out June. No, actually, where is it at? Yep.
I just realized that's what your background is.
Oh, you see it? Oh, yeah. See,
background is good detective work.
Look at Jackie; she is on it.
Jackie's sharp eyes.
But it's supposed to be coming out
later. Attention, I'm making a list.
later this year. Some websites are saying late summer, some are saying Q4. So just look for it, I guess, around that August, September, and on. So either late Q3 or Q4. But that is what I have. Tougen Anki.
I like the I like it when I see animes take like little things that people like in other animes. For example, in Chainsaw Man with
blood,
Power
yeah.
and how her power is blood, and then they actually make a whole anime centered around it, which people will say like, oh, that's not original, but it is though, because the story and like what it has like with the powers, that part
Yeah.
is original.
Mhm.
But when you have like thousands and thousands of different animes that exist out there and stories out there,
Well, I
like
mean, yeah,
something's gonna play off another.
I mean, look at you to say it's not originals to say like there should only have been one vampire movie ever. It's like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
the Oni are basically just a Japanese, part of their superstition, part of their,
It's
mythos
almost like
from ancient times.
yeah, it's like airbender. Like you got tribes that specialize in certain things, water
Yeah.
bending, airbending. They just
Blood
specialize
bending, yeah, like
a thing over here. So
so.
I just think it's pretty interesting. I love that there's a manga out, so I can, when I get the time, jump on there and kind of get up on the lore and kind of understand what the full plot and synopsis for this one is. So I'm excited to get into that one.
Did you say which studio is planning on animating it?
Studio Hibinari, the same studio that did Assassination Classroom and Classroom of
Oh,
the Elite.
nice.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yep. So it
Great
should be a good
animes.
one. It should be a good one. All right. Who's next? Jackie, what you got next?
Okay. The next one I have, which I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to say something too, and I hope it doesn't scare anyone off. But I thought it was really interesting for some facts I found out about it. So it's called, the Japanese name is called Hikaru ga Shinda Natsu, also called The Summer Hikaru Died. What it's about is it follows the story of Yoshiki, a teenager in rural Japan who discovers that his best friend Hikaru has been possessed by an otherworldly entity, forcing him to navigate their changed relationship amid supernatural dangers. The the genres, which Steven and I have been talking about how we've been really wanting to watch more like horror type animes. But it's a horror slice of life as well as a sign-in, so it's going to be more on the mature side. The creator Moku Mokurin, he actually like published some illustrations of this anime on Twitter, and the magazine that normally like people will publish their stuff to, and I forget what the magazine's called, I forgot to write it down. The magazine reached out to him and was like, hey, this looks really cool, would you like to animate this? And he's like, I guess. And so then he's now working with, as I talked about, Cygames Pictures. Cygames Pictures is now going to animate this, and it's going to be licensed by Netflix, as you see in the upper right hand corner. And no one realizes that like Hikaru's not him. He has the same memories, same personality, same looks, like everything. But only his best friend is the one that recognizes that he's like not Hikaru. Now with this one, there are 6 volumes that have been published in Japanese. And at the New York Comic Con in 2024, Yen Press did announce that they are going to license the series for English publication. So he posted it. So that's the second part that I was going to bring up. Apparently, and I don't know if this is the realm it's going to go to. I don't know if it's going to be more of like a, when you have like a bro love. I don't know if it's going to be like that, or if it's going to be more
Romance.
or if it's going to be a yaoi. I don't know. But this creator, apparently he introduced this as a one shot in 2021 under the boys' love genre. But then he chose not to specify the genre of the official publication in 2022, so he removed it from that. So I think it's gonna be more of like a bromance. Maybe it might be a budding romance between the two. I'm not sure. It doesn't say that though. It says that the genre is horror slice of life. That's why I think it's going to be more of like a bromance type of thing. Very interesting though. Like I think it's going to be different. I've never heard of like a horror slice of life except what's the one with the girl where she like has the spirits that follow her all the time and she's just so tired of it and she just wants to go to school. It's kind of like a horror comedy.
I don't know that one. I'm pretty sure
That
like
one.
if the name comes up, like I'll be like, I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it, to be honest.
Yeah, I see it all the time and I've been wanting to watch it so bad and I just keep forgetting to like pull it up. But it's supposed to come out in fall 2025. Yeah, I don't know. You've read some stuff, but again, like this one sounded super interesting. I was talking to Steven about it, and the writer sounds really interesting too. He said that he tries to keep the horror to a minimum by trying to appeal to people's emotions rather than just being scary. But he feels the theme of the story adds to the horror based on the suspension bridge effect, which states that it is easier to fall in love when feeling anxious or fearful. And then he tries to use onomatopoeia that are not often used while also staying cautious to make sure it works properly in the context of the story. Some things that he said when he was creating this. But a lot of people, this manga in 2022, it was nominated and up for a lot of rewards. Like, or awards, sorry, not rewards, awards. Like a lot. I don't know. I didn't get into like all the research of all these different types of awards, but it just ranked at least in the top a lot of these, a top 20 of a lot of recommended comics, best books for teens that year, book of the year, first volume series nominated for the Eisner Award for best US edition of International Material Asia and for the best writer artist respectively, like just a bunch of things. So I'm really excited for this, and it's different than I think something that I would usually watch, but I think it sounds really dope and
Yeah,
different.
the visuals just from the teaser. I'm interested to see how they go with it, and I like how at the end they kind of do let you know the twist in the teaser. Like the friend is just like, "You're not really, Hikaru," and he's like, "Please don't tell anybody." So, trying to see how that friendship works out, like what dynamics have changed. I know you guys have talked about borderline bromance and possibly something more on that, but again, just the horror aspect, how that plays into it, and how they're going to tie the emotional side of you probably wanting them to possibly be more or possibly not. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I can't wait. And some things I didn't add is like it starts off with his friend doing he was like hiking and I guess he got injured and they're calling them sorry, it's Eldritch, like he was like taken over by an eldritch being basically. And yeah, I don't know, like it's it looks really cool.
Yeah, CJ says this is one of the first animes that he can remember that Fangoria has done high profile articles on. So obviously,
okay.
Okay, so it does have a big fear.
Well, I'm not familiar with Fangoria. What is Fangoria?
It's like a horror media magazine, or
oh, okay.
They cover movies, comics, books, pretty much anything that goes along the line. Yeah.
I don't want to say it's rare when an anime comes across their radar where they're like, "Hey, you guys be on the lookout for this one." So that gives it some credit towards the horror aspect of what this anime is going to be.
Yeah, I'm weird. I don't like scary movies. Give me a good horror story though, and a good horror, like a book, I'll read it all day. And
but
then
you were trying to watch the best anime of 2024. It was Maki. What's going on? What do you?
I like creepy kind of. Like I like creepy. I don't like jump scares or like torture kind of like
gory,
gruesome. So gore, you're not into gore. You're into the scary stuff, but not gore.
I like gore in like 300 and movies like that where people are getting their arms chopped off or broken and stuff, but
not like Saw.
Oh, absolutely not. Can't do it. Yeah. No way. But yeah, so I think like that's the thing that like sometimes a lot of people talk about sorry, now I'm going on a tangent, but some American horror movies just it's for me at least, it's hard for me to pay attention to the actual story that's probably really good because there's so many jump scares that are happening. I cannot focus on the actual story. I like it when there's actual it's a horror story, but there's like a really great telling of it. It's not just constant jumps. A car all of a sudden whizzes by when it's really quiet. That makes me shit my pants every time. I don't know why, but I'm also a baby when it comes to like any scary movies like that. I like when you're actually trying to tell the story and just how like the lore of that, and then it builds up to like eventually the action, but it's not just the action isn't just all these jumps and everything. It's just the like horror. I don't know. Like I read Amityville Horror when I was a kid, and I love that book. That is such a good story. 2008 movie though, absolutely not.
Yeah. Nice. EJ, what you got on deck next, man?
Okay, my second pick was it's basically from a light novel and a manga that's basically being adapted this year to be an anime. It's Teogonia, I think is how you pronounce it. It's set. I'll give the background, but it's supposed to air in April 2025. The producers is Hakuhodo DY Music and Pictures.
Sounds
And
like a
then
DJ.
EJ, how do you spell it? The name of the show?
Teogonia. Teogonia.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. So, it seems like it's a timepiece, but also has fantasy elements to it. As far as it's about warfare, and it's got humans and demi-humans in it. I thought the art looks really interesting, and I like the fact that the individuals have it's more centers around the interactions of individuals. I mean, it says it's in time of relentless warfare, but all in all, I like the stories when you see the building of the connections between the different characters. And in this story, it's definitely a world building story. Like I said, it has fantasy elements, magic, other races, and so forth, which is something I feel a lot of anime does well when it goes into the fantasy realm, is building out that whole other world. And I like getting enveloped in that. This one looks like they've taken the time. I mean, like I said, it's already been a novel, a light novel, which I'm not exactly sure how that works in Japan, is released not light novel versus a manga. So
Usually what happens, most manga, I've seen it where there's a light novel, a full novel, and then it'll go manga, or it'll start off as a light novel to a manga. From my understanding, light novels might be only available digitally. And then what happens if the story is very popular,
okay.
then people will be like, oh, let's illustrate this into a manga or webtoon. Sometimes webtoons get created
Webtoon, and then
off of it.
okay.
And then if the webtoon or the manga is really popular, then an animation studio or a magazine article that sees the that puts in a Shonen Jump or Shoujo Weekly or whatever the case is, then
Would
an
like to
animation
publish
studio
it.
will reach
Okay.
out to the creator, the illustrator, and they're like, hey, we want to like animate this.
So from what I understand of reading the background for it during our research, is like it was a very well liked light novel, and then it basically carried on from there. And finally, someone's put the art to motion, and we're going to get an anime in April. But like I said, I it goes back to me being a huge fan of fantasy, especially when anime kicks out stuff like Escaflowne or Lotus Wars or anything. I mean, even Vinland Saga, which is historically based. I mean, it goes a little over the top with some of their battles, but I mean, the anime seems to get the idea of these epically huge fantasy stories, and to me, those are great because I love the whole getting lost in another world, and just feeling that especially. Hey Amanda, how you doing? Just to get, I don't know, that escapism of it, and then I feel like when they have that, and you can actually feel like you're surrounded by such an in-depth or well thought out story and characters that interact, it draws you in more, and that escapism is possible. Like you really get vested. I mean, I love the action and stuff. I mean, you could sit there. Chainsaw Man has action to blow your mind, But I mean, some of these that are considered for the or more mature generation may not have as much action going on. But if the story's deep enough, you don't need that to pull, to bring you in. So
how do you spell it again? It's
Teogonia.
Nia. Oh, okay.
Teogonia, I believe, is the way it's pronounced.
Yeah, Steven and I were just talking about that, where we like solo leveling. Like sometimes it's good, like to just the character's OP immediately. Like we don't have to worry about the story. We just care. We just want to see the action and like the person being strong. Like sometimes you like that, but then the other part of it is like the world building though is also super fun to be a part of and invested in, and then see what the end result is that. And when they have that as the center, not center plot, but like the theme for it,
the foundation
that
of it all.
allows for the story to go potentially for a really long time, depending on like how much world building they actually want to do. Like I thought Arcane could have been like a really big series until they ended it.
Well, they had to. They underestimated how much it was to produce the show that they wanted. Like the quality of show they wanted to make was so expensive. They're like, we cannot continue to do what we're doing. Yeah. So they ended it. So I don't know, like it would be too easy for them to kind of sit back, reevaluate, because this was their first time jumping into anime, right?
It's huge, full production.
So they were just like, this is what we want to do, and people made it. They're just like, it costs how much? God damn,
But it is
it needs beautiful. How many people?
It's one of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever watched, or
for
series.
2 seasons of animation. Like it's probably the best 2 seasons of any animated show that I've watched.
Yeah, even though they decided to end it, they still ended it like not abruptly. It was
it was a full like what Promised Neverland did.
Fulfilled the whole
didn't do. So
they brought a closure to the different story arcs going on, and a closure in a way that you felt good. You felt like it completed it. And from what I understand is they have a couple ideas as far as offshoots or carry-ons from that. So it may not have the same characters, but they've built enough up, and we've all watched it enough to where we know the world. So I think it'll draw in the same crowd. And if they keep with their strategy right now, it's working.
The one thing I do like, and I see it in some of the comments in their face, or the trailer for their YouTube, or the comments for the trailer that they have on YouTube, is a lot of people like myself, like isekais are great, but when it's characters and everything fully based in fantasy, like nobody coming from the future coming back like, oh, I know how to do, or in my time this, it's just you're in there with them, like a Freerin, or a what's another one where it's just like them being there in the fantasy thing, like stuff like that, where you're bought in. It's not somebody with outside knowledge on how to do stuff, like a doctor.
It's not like I fell through the internet portal,
or Shield Hero or something, Sword Art Online, something like that. So that's the part I like about it, where it's just these guys are here and this is what they're dealing with. So
this is the world they know. This is everything to them.
Fantasy without isekai, because I think isekais were just getting overdone with people just traveling back in ancient times and having a leg up because they know technology and how shit works. So
well, you can only do that genre so much until the community starts getting tired of it, and they're like, how much can you keep doing this? Because I even, like, at one point I was watching a lot of isekais, and then on my like 10th one, I'm like, okay, a little bit of a different story, but kind of same. I need something a little bit different.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to expand more on something different, be it the world that they get into, the character themselves, but something's got to alter, because then it becomes stale. Over time, you're like, I've seen this, and I've it's not really breaking the mold.
For that heavenly delusion, is he when you say that the ending, are you talking about the ending from the story? Because I thought it's only had one season out, and I think isn't there supposed to be a second season? That was Kenpachi, right?
Yeah, that was Kenpachi that said, if you like Promised Neverland, watch Heavenly Delusion. Warning though, the end of it is rough. Great series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also agree with
out.
Kenpachi. Heavenly Delusion is amazing. It's sick.
How long is it?
Right now, it's only out 12 episodes. It's on
Sweet.
Disney
I can knock that out.
Plus.
No,
It's
maybe.
and Disney Plus has Tengoku. Oh gosh, I can't remember. Tengoku Daimakyo. Daimakyo. Yeah.
Trying to write without holding the paper. Over here, like,
no, but yeah, I'm excited. It looks like Crunchyroll has that one based on the branding of the trailer. So I didn't see a date when they said it should be coming out.
Did you say April 2025?
April 2025.
Oh, okay.
We got a lot coming out in April. I tried to get the springtime
can't
stuff
wait.
too.
All right.
A lot of the stuff that I was looking at, if you go on anime list, or as we were talking about with Kenpachi Mal, my anime list. So if anyone doesn't know about it, not only is there a browser version, but there's an app that you can download on your phone. You can add your like currently watching, next to watch, completed, and you can add friends on there as well, and you can see what your friends are watching as well. So you can like share lists. But on Mal, for spring of 2025, there's like, and I'm surprised because I haven't seen a lot of like what advertisement for the spring. Everything's been like all of the, as we talked about what we didn't want to talk about this episode, which is the sequels.
Big stuff. Yeah,
a lot of people are not talking about these really good ones that are coming out this year, and it's actually crazy. This is the first year I've seen that it's not all about the sequels. Like the sequels are important, but there's a lot of great ones that I think are not being talked about enough that are coming out.
Yeah, I think a lot of these ones that we're talking about that are just starting up first time anime adaptations have the possibility to turn into the next big anime.
There
like
are
the next next like what
because within
10
the
years?
next, you say within the next 3 years Demon Slayer's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
do a movie a year. The next 3 years Demon Slayer's done, and then it's what, you got out. Sakamoto that's bringing up some steam, but you're losing on one of the big, hey, anime is popular again, and people will be looking for the next one because JJK, that also
it's
is
ending.
on the way. My Hero is on the way out.
It's
so
already ended, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there's a season coming up. I think they're gonna try and squeeze possibly 2 more seasons. I hope they just do it in one, but that's just me. But yeah, a lot of the big staples that have brought people into the current gen of animation where people are just like, ooh, the new big 3, those new big 3 are gonna be gone. And One Piece will still be going on. That's crazy.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, so spring 2025 is loaded. My next one is an anime called Sword of the Demon Hunter. Speaking of demons,
I was looking at that too. Yeah.
Yep. So this one is a pretty dope one as well. So
this trailer already looks great. I love when trailers are like dark with rain.
They make rain and it just looks so good. It's like
like EJ in his previous one, Teogonia. It was a light novel again. It was a novel that was published online, and then it was picked up to be a light novel.
Okay.
And then it's a seinen manga. So from then it went from light novel, picked up for a manga adaptation. So just like Jackie was talking about the progression of,
love the art.
It's online, then it gets picked up for a light novel, then a manga. But it's about a warrior named Genta who hunts demons across time and space during the Edo period in Japan. And it spans over 100 years because he protects a remote mountain, the priestess, and there's a shrine that demons continually try to attack from the forest. So he continually hunts them down, kills them in the forest. And as he's dispatching one of them, the demon is just like, hey, in the future, our demon god is going to come and just terrorize humanity. So this warrior's quest is to ensure that this demon god doesn't succeed in that. It doesn't explain how the time travel starts, but he jumps between different time periods within the Edo period of Japan, fighting off this demon army. So the anime adaptation was announced on September 9th in 2021 back in Japan, but it's set to premiere here in North America, produced by
April?
Yokohama Animation Laboratory, March 31st, 2025.
Wow, we're gonna be busy.
Shit.
I can't play any video games.
I agree, Amanda. That does look beautiful. I mean, just
Dude,
watching
Disney
that trailer, I
Dreamlight
was like,
Valley's gonna have to take a back seat.
Sorry, Mickey. I got other things. Yeah,
It
the
does look
animation,
beautiful.
the actual,
That one looks good. I really like that
when I
one.
do the editing and stuff post, I'll throw in like if you just look at the cover art of the novels and stuff, you're just like, God, this is going to be a great anime. The story, like, again, it's brand new. There's already volumes of this story out, so I that's the part that I like. I'm getting more into trying to figure out about the anime before it comes out. Normally, like, the anime will catch my eye, and I'm just like, after the first season, ooh, let me catch up in the manga. With these, I'm like, they're not coming out yet, but I can go get into the manga and kind of get a better understanding of the world,
Get a basis, yeah.
in the lore and whatever's going on before the anime comes out. So, sort of the Demon Hunter is definitely on that list for me.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I was interested in that one too. I was like, wow. It looks great. The story sounds great. So, good pick.
Yep. Thank you. All right, Jackie. Next up,
All
what
right.
you got?
The next one that I have, it's called Your Forma, Forma. Some things, when I read this synopsis to Steven, he said it sounds a lot like Psycho-Pass. So anyone that's a fan of Psycho-Pass would probably like this anime. But it's a story set in a world where everyone has an invasive brain implant called Your Forma that records every sight, sound, and emotion, essentially making everyone constantly monitored. It follows the character Achika Hieda, a young gifted electronic investigator who uses his technology to solve crimes by diving into the collective data, often partnering with an artificial human named Harold to uncover hidden secrets and expose criminals in the highly surveilled society. So, this one, the studio that's gonna animate it is Geno Studio. If no one knows who animated that, animated one of my most favorites, Frieren, just saying, as well as Golden Kamui. But there was a light novel that came out back in March 2021, and then the manga was released in 2021 to 2023. And then there's no established sales figures available, though. I tried to figure out like how much it's sold. But I could not find that. They're planning to release it in April 2025, though. But this one also seems super interesting, and I guess it was highly recommended by the author of 86. So if anyone's ever like watched 86 or read 86, I guess a lot of people really like that anime. And there's people on Reddit saying that if that person who wrote 86 is like loving the hell out of it, it must be pretty damn good, is what a lot of people are saying. So
Yeah.
a lot of people said that it's like a cyberpunk-esque sci-fi story, kind of Ghost in the Shell or Edge Runners vibe is like what it's kind of giving. It did win the grand prize at the 27th Dengeki Novel Prize in 2021, and then it also ranked 18th in the new work category for like light novels. It got a lot of praise from other people that are artists or from some magazines. So again, I couldn't find a lot of information on it. The genre is mystery science fiction. Again, another sign. A lot of things that I found were a lot of sign-in that I was interested in. So it's going to be more for your mature audience. I couldn't find a lot of information on the creator, the illustrator, except I will say when I did look up the illustrator, Subata Nozaki, some things that they illustrated, it was also very mature reading material. So this one sounds very interesting. I never watched Psycho-Pass, but Steven said that he hasn't. He really liked it, and this one sounds super interesting. And yeah, so
Yeah, it
I
sounded
wrote,
like that with the duality of having the partnership. Because
yeah,
in Psychopaths, that's a main characteristic of the story is the partnership that goes on, the way it works together, and it looks like even from the trailer that it seems to be a huge factor in this story. So
yeah.
once again, I like
This studio, Geno Studio, is often recognized for their mature themes and visually striking animation style. So that right off the bat tells me that like this is going to be probably a really good story and a really good anime to watch again in spring of 2025. I also, like, again, I'm not usually into cyber stuff like that, but I did see Cyberpunk and I love Cyberpunk, so I
Edge
think
Runners?
that
That was a good one.
I never saw Edge Runners. It's been on my list for the longest time.
I haven't seen that either. I have
So
to check it out.
I don't know why I always get turned off by science fiction sometimes, and then because every time I end up watching it, I always love it. I don't know why I just like don't make myself just watch it, but
Mhm.
yeah, this one sounds really dope.
I'm with you though. I've always been more the fantasy side or the horror side, but
Yeah,
I think what changed it for me was Darker Than Black was like one of the first. No, I mean Ergo Proxy I watched too was very cyberpunk, futuristic, but Darker Than Black really hooked me. And then after that, the anything along those lines where it's like, I don't know, borderline cyberpunk or just the whole semi-futuristic world. It's still a great setting. You know, I'll still roll with those. But I think with those, the art has to be on point. You know, like
yeah,
fantasy, you can bite off on some of the stuff that's like, okay, well that's a little weird, but it's fantasy. It's otherworldly, so you're kind of like, it's not meant to be, perfectly realistic. Where when you get into futuristic or cyberpunk stuff, you're expecting things to be relatable. So the art's got to be to a certain level where it anchors it in at least somewhat of our perceptive reality of what the future could be. You know, you can't have like a duck man with purple hair in a cyberpunk because you'll be like,
yeah.
what? But in fantasy, they could throw whatever the hell they want out there. So you get a
Real,
lot more
real quick,
imaginative stuff.
I wanna. This is pretty dope. I don't know if it's just because of whatever, but if you look at the suggested videos after we watch this trailer, if you look down here at the bottom right, you see our live episode. That's
Hey.
Oh, hey, that's us.
Hey,
right next to the trailer for Dead Demons. Did it in the trailer.
That's cool.
I thought that was pretty dope. Little flex.
You see, Eat the Cake anime logo. You kind of see it.
Right
I
here.
should move.
I just
Sorry,
thought that was
guys. I figured out how to put backgrounds on now, so I've been trying to put background on there.
I'm gonna have to try.
But yeah, I'm a big cyberpunk dystopia type stuff, man. So again, like I saw Brain Dive, and I immediately thought of Edge Runners because that's what they do. They dive
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So
I'll have to check
that
that out.
sword art, anytime you're getting in some kind of zone where you're mentally in another state, and any kind of mistake that's done while it's like Matrix, like when you're in this thing, anything happens neurologically, like you're gonna be screwed, so
Yeah. Or like, what was the other movie, Inception?
yeah,
Where you keep diving back
You're
and back
inside-
and
yeah.
back.
in a dream and a dream and a
Yeah.
dream and a
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the shows that make you have to think and are very like, oh shit, like, and just like, and I just realizing this right now, the past 3 that I've even talked about, it's a lot of like thinking or just like what, like you're questioning like what is going on, and I think that's what helps also the viewer to be, or the reader to be like, I want to know like what the
Why? Yeah. How?
Yeah.
It makes you ask more questions. Which hooks you. So there's lots of different ways to hook. The action can hook you, the story, the characters, but yeah, with a lot of the cyberpunk stuff, it's the asking of why and how, and you get
Yeah.
get reeled in for that.
Yep. All right, EJ, what's up next, man?
All right, my next one is a Netflix pick. I'm trying to give Netflix a chance, like we discussed before. It is going to be released on Crunchyroll, but Netflix is actually producing it, and it's called Leviathan season. It's season 1. The reason I picked this was, one, just looking at it, the idea of an alternate timeline or an alternate Europe of the early 1900s spoke to me, because I'm kind of working on something with that. And it's going to be produced by Orange Company Limited. The interesting thing was the story and everything is created by Scott Westerfield, and he wrote 3 novels that this should be based on. I think it's Leviathan, Behemoth, and I can't remember the third one, but the art looks great. It does look like a fusion to me with the art. Is to me, I could see where some of it is
CGI,
computer adapted, and then there's
like the new season of Beastars.
Yes, exactly. So I thought the art was done well, and it's very interesting that it's 3 very popular novels that people who aren't even into anime are already jumping on this just because they're fans of this Scott Westerfield's writing. They recently released one of his stories. It was a movie on Netflix, a Netflix original called Uglies, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That's one of his books. So that's a series that he did, was The Uglies and the Pretties. And then this is from a different series, which is similar. Like I said, it's like a steampunk alternate reality of Earth in the early 1900s. Another person put it as if you've ever watched Mortal Engines, which was a movie, I think it was a British released movie, but it was maybe like a decade ago it came out. But it was another one where it's a dystopian alternate timeline for Earth. But this seems along those same lines. I thought the art was really great. The to convey that the main characters, as far as this is going, from what I understand, is it's a fugitive prince. So basically, he's got to leave because the whole situation is blowing up into like a war. And then a girl who disguises herself as a boy so she can join into this war. She's lending in her hand to help defend her people and her country. The one thing that I thought was very interesting, and I thought that would probably catch attention because I just recently learned from Jacci that she was such a Studio Ghibli fan, is that the music, the score for this is going to be done by Nobuko Tada and Kazuma Jinochi, who did original work with Joe
Hisashi.
And they did the Castle in the Sky, Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, Princess Mononoke, one of the best
Studio Ghibli music, which they have great music. I mean, it's iconic music to this day. So, there's Chris came through with the clutch. There it is. Goliath is the 3rd book. I don't know why I was saying gargantuan. I don't know.
Dude, this Chris guy knows what he's
G word,
talking about.
Synonyms.
G word. But CJ backed me up there. No, but so the music is interesting enough alone, because I mean, to this day, Studio Ghibli Princess Mononoke is still one of my all-time favorite movies. Music from them has always been legendary, and it just sticks with you. You still see little people put out videos and clips and stuff, and they'll attach Studio Ghibli music to it. It has nothing to do with anime, but people love those pieces so much. So like I said, interesting that there's 3 very popular novels going to be put into this. So the first season is the first book, Leviathan, and I'm interested in checking it out.
What was the name of it again? Sorry, I missed it.
Leviathan is the first season, the first book in the first
okay.
season, and then it'll be Behemoth and Goliath. So we don't know.
Sick.
Netflix doesn't have the best record as keeping things on and completion. So hopefully,
it said coming 2025. So
yes.
Well, yeah, it'll, like, the thing with Netflix is based on the numbers the first season does, they'll probably be like, and that's a wrap. Instead of completing instead of doing the full trilogy.
We did all we could. We showed up.
It only made 10 billion. We wanted 11 billion. Sorry. Like, Jesus Christ, Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, we've lost some great properties from Netflix that they just dropped after the first season without explanation. So hopefully that's not the case here.
Yep.
All right. So it sounds like
Oh.
CJ's a fan who knows some of the stuff.
Like Kindle Audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can
Hell
get
yeah.
it on your phone as well. So there's all of that.
Awesome.
So okay. For my next one, it's a this isn't going to be a series like a television series. This is going to be more of like a series of films. And the first one will be coming out in summer of 25 in Japan, with possibly a late fall, early winter release here in the States. So this property is called Virgin Punk. It's a series of films
Yes.
that is set to be released. Like I said, the first part titled Clockwork Girl, released in Japan June 27th. And films will be animated by Studio Shaft and directed by Yasumo, who I think Umetsu, who is famous for being the one who directed the animated version of Kite. If you're unaware what Kite is, pretty much you'll watch this one and you can kind of see a very young female assassin, hit person, bounty hunter, as you call it. So from what I get with this, it's not based on a manga, a novel, or anything. It's like an original screenplay that's being created. So the story is about a young bounty hunter named Ubu as she battles her past and hunts targets through chaotic cities. Ubu has strange memories from a facility she escaped, as you saw kind of in the beginning, and struggles with internal conflict while maneuvering through a cyberpunk-like dystopian world in 2099. So again, just looking at it, I saw cyberpunk, I saw, young bounty hunter. The action is amazing from like everything about this trailer. I was hoping that this was a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that it's going to be coming
I'm
out.
glad you're talking about this because I had this on my list, but I didn't do research because I saw it's a film. I didn't know if we should talk about it. So I'm so glad that you're talking about it because it was on my list.
Yeah. It's got really crisp looking art.
It's pretty dope. Like I was trying to look to see who was animating it, but like I said, it's a Studio Shaft. I went and looked at what they did, and they really haven't done much. Like it's all things that I've never heard of, nothing that has come up in common, most popular kind of watched animes and things like that. So you can go look and see what they've created. Maybe it's something that you've known, but I'm looking at the animation and
Oh, Puella Magi Madoka.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. So
That's wild.
I don't know. Like I'm saying, I'm hoping that this drops in North America later this year, because normally that's how it'll roll. Japan will run with it for a few months and then be like, let's get more money, put it out in the States. If it comes in theaters, I'll go watch it. I know Netflix they may try to put some money on it. Crunchyroll may try to put some money on it so you can stream it straight from their services. But again, this world looks amazing. I love the story, the synopsis. I'll just say that. And I'm willing to see and pay some money to see how this whole thing unfolds over these 3 films. So Virgin Punk is on my radar. What you got, Jackie?
Nick.
Unless there was
okay.
any additional stuff you guys had added.
No, I agree with you. I mean, as I've told you guys before, I'm a sucker if like the main character is like a female, because I think a lot of animes in the past, like at least 5 to 10 years, the main character, and especially with world building, has always been centered, and nothing wrong with it. It's always been centered around a young boy or a male character, which is great. The story's still great. I watch all of them, but there's very few that have like a badass female lead and go through like a world building or character building of her. And when they have like a badass movie or even series where that is a lead, I think that it's just different. And then I'm like, I can't wait to watch something like this. So
cool.
Yeah. I recognize it right away when Willie when you say kite. I was like, yeah, the gunplay and the action. It's along the
I
same line.
recommend the anime. If you haven't seen Kite, go watch the animated version. There was a live action version that
Oh, I never saw that.
it has Samuel L. Jackson in it, bro.
Oh,
It's just because it's Samuel L. Jackson. Like, he's been in some bad movies, so don't.
oh yeah, Snakes
Samuel
on a
L. Jackson,
Plane.
yes. I mean, you could watch both, but if you watch the animated one, there's no need to watch the live action one. So I'll just say that. All right, Jackie.
Okay, Willie, this is gonna be a joint effort between me and Eric. We both did research on an anime called Zenshu, and I'll talk a little bit. Eric, I'll let you talk about what you read. But
Zenshu.
DNSHU.
Yeah.
SHU.
Yep.
Yeah,
So this one, it's a new original Japanese anime series created by MAPPA. It goes on a journey of this character named Natsuko Hirose, a talented animator who makes a remarkable transition into directing. Despite her initial success, Natsuko faces a major challenge in her directorial debut. It's a romantic comedy about first love. It's just wrestling with her lack of romantic experience. She struggles to visualize the storyboard, leading to a creative blockage that puts her project at risk. It offers a nuanced look at an animator's personal and professional journey, shedding light on the pressures and complexities of the industry, as well as marks a daring venture into new, unexplored territory. Something to add on to it, basically what happens in this... Sorry, let me make sure that I don't mess this up. Actually, I'll let you talk about more of the plot that you read, Eric.
Okay. Basically, to follow on with Jackie, the main character is creating a world to follow in her stories that she's going to direct, and with her writer's block, as to say, or creativity block, it's that whole thing of being drawn into another world. But whether or not it's literal is hard to tell, because it could be expressions of her, in her own mind. But that's to wait and see, like to see if it's a consciousness thing. But basically it's I found it neat because it's an exploration of what it seems to be combining, like 3 different genres here, like the slice of life almost, because you do get the main character is living a normal life. She's trying to break out, this is her big thing as her directorial debut. Then you also get the whole transferring into another realm or another reality, a fantasy mission, but it's also romance because she's learning about romance. So the characters, in a way, she's being taught by I don't know if she's being taught more, or she's learning to experience love through this creation, which is like she's learning from these characters and stuff that's actually part of her own creation. So they're almost as if maybe they've got their own life, in a sense, because for her to be able to convey love in a romantic story was difficult. She's having difficulty, but these characters obviously show she has the capacity for it. She created them. So, that was interesting to me. Like, you got the whole three part going there, like a fantasy world battle thing. You got the transferring from this reality to another, and then you've got the kind of slice of life. So it's got romance. It's got a little bit of everything seems to be brought into it. And as Jackie's favorite thing right now is the female lead, and she's very in depth. They've put a lot of thought into building her to where, it's not just some, side character or companion. She's actually the fleshed out central character, but also the world creator. So it's a step further than just the basic. But yeah, plus once they said it was MAPPA, and I was like, oh, okay. And then looking at the art, I was like, wow, this is really cool.
The premise is crazy, because I'm watching the first part of the trailer as you guys are talking, and
wait, before you say it, because I was going to say that about fun fact, because I think I know what you're going to say about the fact that it's MAPPA and a writer.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Let's see if you guys have the same thoughts.
I was waiting. So the one thing that came out with this is that there was a lot of criticism about this anime because Mappa was the one animating it, although it was about writers who are stressed out. And as you saw them saying, like, forget it, I'll do it, I'll just do it, all this stuff. But one of the things that like I read is that although it is that, and like people are criticizing the fact that like, well, Mappa, you're the one that like, you know, runs your writers dry basically and all this stuff. Other people are saying, well, maybe this is Mappa saying that they hear you and they see
they
it,
understand, yeah,
and they're taking that to like now animate what it is to be like as a writer, and then they're showcasing that as like a, hey, we see that. And I don't know if they're actually doing something about it. I don't know if that means it's that they know they're doing something about it, but that it did get a lot of criticism from a lot of people. It's like, oh, this is ironic that you're creating this anime about writers, because by the way, your writers are like striking or have in the past put on a strike. But if you've noticed, they haven't done it in a while, and a lot of them haven't been complaining anymore. So I wonder if like there has been a shift and a change. They listened to like their writers and their workers and the people that are watching their things, and have changed since then. And this is like a animation or an anime that they've created to show that, and like, and whatever. I'm not sure, but those are things that I read. And like a big things that I read too is like there's a lot of stunning visuals, it's a compelling story, relatable characters, strong voice acting. Apparently Mappa hired some of the best voice actors in the industry. The main protagonist was the main character in Summertime Rendering, and she voiced in Jujutsu Kaisen. Another person voiced in Blue Lock, as well as in Luke of Braveheart. Or Luke Braveheart, sorry. Another one voiced in Gintama. Alphonse Eric from Full Metal Alchemist series. Another one from Kingdom. Just a bunch of like great like voice actors. So
yeah.
I had a feeling, Willie, that's what you were gonna say. So like I did see that, and I researched that.
Yeah, it was that, and I think they did a good job with putting the trailer together. Like the total shift, like it went from what looked like a total slice of life, you know. The whole cute main character puts the hood on, the hair blocks her face, that whole thing, and then next thing I know, like she's going full Bankai on the paper and getting teleported into a new world. And there's the whole fantasy aspect, the dude chopping somebody in half with a sword. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? But
just showing like the creativeness and the hard work that the writers put into it.
Yeah,
well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, from both of your perspectives, do you think this is something that's really happening, or is this all in her mind? Like, because is she going to a place mentally, or do you think it's?
I mean, with anime, it could be either one. Like we were just talking about isekais, so it doesn't look like she's getting pulled into a world, because it looks like she snaps out of it when she's done writing. You know, maybe her imagination is just that amazing where she can just almost put herself in the story as she's creating, and then her coworker comes up, probably taps her on the shoulder, and she like snaps back. So when was this? Let me see if it has a date.
It's already out. It came out January 5th. There's 9 episodes already. It's I haven't watched, but I haven't watched it yet. So
yeah, I didn't watch it yet either.
Yeah.
Look at
these. To talk about things we haven't seen. Yes, we're on the same page.
The comments on the on the YouTube thing, it's like one person say, Mappa workers, blink once if you're being forced by Mappa to make this. Blink twice.
Exactly. Yeah.
They lock you down in the basement.
Well,
somebody says this is Mappa, the autobiography, and like everybody's just
funny.
On
both of you guys say that.
Yeah,
that might be the reason. Like both of you guys are bringing that up. It might be the reason I've noticed there's been real mixed reviews, but overall, it hasn't had the best response from people. I don't know if it's because of what's going on with Mappa, or if it's because they immediately took it as slice of life and didn't watch it. I don't know, but it's not. It's only getting like roughly in the 5 zone out of 10, 5 to 6, and and I'm like, maybe people aren't giving it a chance, or maybe it's all the controversy with Mappa. But I'm like, to me, the art, and like you said, it was drawn very well. It's presented well, and you're watching it turn from slice of life just immediately go into some sort of fantasy action. I was impressed. I was like, this is interesting enough to it's not completely different or unheard of, but it seems like a merger of enough cool things to where it'll catch my attention.
Yeah, I mean, you got the people who are just, and just like with every fan base, like anime does have their like toxic fan, like they hear one thing about Mappa. Oh, this is Mappa this, Mappa that, but Mappa puts out an anime and they all sit and just consume it. Like if it's, I'm not saying if it's really that bad. Obviously, the workers are there. Jacci does have a point. Maybe this is Mappa shouting out their artists and showing like how much they do appreciate it. They are very valuable to our company. But again, you have people in here like, oh, this is Mappa self-reporting, but Mappa puts out a anime, they're going to sit and watch it instead of boycott, so it is what it is, but like I said, watching this trailer, I was unaware that this was out. This is something that I'm going to put on my Crunchyroll watch list along with like several other anime that are out that I'm like, ooh, I need to catch up on that. Ooh, I need to watch that. So,
yeah. On Crunchyroll, it's a 4.7 out of 5, and it says 86% like this TV show for Google users. And I usually go off of that rather than other reviews because that's where your general audience mostly is on Crunchyroll and just like what they're bitching about on Google. And again, I went on Reddit because that's a lot of these ones. Like I went on Reddit for it, and a lot of it was positive.
Yeah.
With the discussion of that, but like saying what we talked about, that maybe this is what Mappa is doing.
It's
like,
just weird.
Yeah,
to
we
me
see it.
The quality of it looks very high. And then of course Mappa doesn't turn out stuff that a lot of people frown on. So I was surprised to see that it was, like I said, a low overall. First look was low for people. So
yeah, I wonder if Mappa is actually. This is just a sidebar, and we can move on to Willie next, unless you had another one, Eric. I know we kind of double teamed.
No, that's fine. We'll go to.
I'm just interested, and we can talk about afterwards, like what animes that they've all made, if any of them were actually not good.
Yeah.
Looking that up right now.
What you got, Willie?
So my next one is probably the most like obscure, like out of left field. Like, how the hell do you come up with a story like this anime that I have?
Oh, I can't wait.
And but let me tell you, I don't want to say I saved the other two that I'm gonna talk about after this. I've watched up to their the current point, but this one is called Gachiakuta, and I just want to make sure I have it set up before I bring it.
Gachiakuda.
TA.
Oh, TA.
Yep. So just look at the artwork, right? Just look at the artwork. So this is based on a manga that was written and illustrated by Kei Urana, and is currently serializing in the weekly Shonen magazine. So growing up, she was heavily inspired. Yep, she was heavily inspired by the art style of Atsushi Okubo, which is famous for animating Soul Eater and Fire Force. And she worked as an assistant under him while he was working on Fire Force, or as he is currently working on Fire Force. So he has gone on public and on record by calling her his successor, and kind of just gave her the blessing of this, right? And I want to see if I could I was trying to find another trailer for this one to show, but all they have is the teaser trailer that's out. But I'll just run it back. It is based on a so like she is writing and animating or illustrating this manga, right? And
yeah, I saw this as with graffiti art.
Yeah, so there's graffiti art in the anime that is done by a famous graffiti artist.
Oh, okay.
That's sick.
Yeah, so the thought that was put into this, like as I was reading about it, I'm just like, Lord Jesus Christ, like give me more, like I want more of this. But so it's basically, and I'll try to look for another trailer after I give this heads up, but it's based in this world, like living in the slums of a wealthy society, a population of, and it's in quote, tribes folk who are descended from criminals who are exiled from society. Living amongst them, a young boy named Rudo who detests the upper class's wastefulness. They often dump any and everything deemed trash, including criminals, into a massive dump outside the town known as the Pit. Rudo was told by his foster father, Rigetto, that his biological father was dumped into the pit for a crime before he was born. One day after rummaging through a dump site, Rudo returns home to find Rigetto killed.
Oh my God.
Apprehended at the scene, he is assumed to be guilty based on his status as a tribesman. Unable to escape his fate, Rudo swears revenge upon the people and is dumped into the pit. So inside of the pit, so I don't know if it's seen in this trailer, but there is a alleyway and there is a trash can. You know what? Let me find this trailer, or let me find it.
Is there a manga or anything?
There is a manga. There's
okay
13 volumes in circulation. Like this.
Oh, shonen. Okay.
This woman is cranking this thing out, and I'm just like, Lord Jesus, this woman is doing the Lord's work with this.
Yeah,
with this.
I mean, it's really gritty, but I mean, the art has got so much detail. Like, I like it.
Like, I'll just
Willie, you got some good recs right now.
I'm trying. Like, there's not a good. Like, you'll have to look it up on YouTube and see. I'll just play this in the back as we're talking, and I'll credit the YouTube creator, but I think he's gonna like talk about some of this. No, this ain't it either. Anyway, but so after he's dumped into the pit, he awakens to find himself disoriented in a foul-smelling, endless landscape of trash. Rudo's then attacked by a large beast made of trash and fends them off until he's rescued by a man named Engine. The man explains to Rudo that he's in fact not underground, but has fallen to the surface from the sphere after testing. So it's the world building and what is being displayed in here is off the chain. So Engine is a member of a group called the Cleaners who is fighting against the powers that be. So they're the rebels in a sense. So they're trying to return back to the sphere to have the comeuppance of the upper class who just dump everybody and everything into this pit. So again, like I said, the illustrator and writer of this, I'm just like, so you're writing this and drawing this amazing animation. You can sense the. Oh, here we go. This is another trailer. Let me bring this one up. So you can kind of see in this one, like the little thing there. Yeah, this is a little bit more of the animation you can see here.
This looks like it's a very basic.
Look at this.
What? What's the genre?
This is a shonen. Hold on, let me.
Sorry, I guess I mean like, is it like a?
I'm just stuck looking at the animation. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, you're fine. I like, because whenever I see like animation where it has like, scribbles in the back, I'm like, that's always like a horror type illustration where they put like, a bunch of scribbles
for the fear and it, like to show that the anxiety of the moment. Yeah,
anxiety. That's better. That's the best.
So the genre is just action, dark fantasy.
Dark fantasy.
Dark. Okay.
Demographic is shown.
Good call on that. You spotted. That's a good spot. It's those eyes again, Jack.
But of course, like I said, it's done by Bones Studio, which
is that
goes
new?
Without saying. No, Bones is Studio. Bones is.
I'm just not familiar with them.
Studio Bones did I know this, but I always forget because there's so many animation studios.
Yeah, that's why probably I have watched. I just don't know.
They did Wolf's Rain, Eureka 7, Scrapped Princess.
Never mind. They did a lot of the ones I like.
My Hero,
Mob Psycho.
Because Wolf's Rain, I love that, and
I could see some Mob Psycho elements in that animation for sure.
Well, it's that, and I think. Like when I was looking at it, I'm like, this is like, I see Fire Force in it. And I didn't know that it was the understudy of the animator of Fire Force. You know what I'm saying? So that you can kind of see some of his stylistic approaches to characters and drawing by her in this one. So again, like that with a little bit of Soul Eater. I'm assuming there will be some level of comedy if she's really kind of following in the footsteps of her mentor in that point. But
Yeah, unless she's taking some of what she learned and gonna make it.
Right.
I mean,
Like this
I
is
love it when people take it and make it their own too.
make it their own, yeah. But just the world being dumped in here, creatures being created from the stuff that the upper classes, you know, drop in here, and it's like all I see are teasers, like 30-second clips of describing this show, and I'm just like, why isn't there like a full trailer? Like give me like a minute and a half of this.
Yeah.
When does it release?
If you're giving me 30 seconds, I appreciate the 30 seconds.
It didn't say when it was going to be released or anything.
So according to this, it says. Oh, let me go back to my.
I'm wondering, like,
is it even releasing?
Why? Yeah. If that's why there's not.
It's still development. They haven't released a full trailer yet. Or?
It's kind of like when movies are like, coming out in 2028, and
no, it just says set to premiere. It just says set to premiere in 2025. And now, when it does that, you don't know if it's set to premiere in Japan, and then after it's in Japan,
right.
Yeah, we won't get it till 2026. Or
Yep.
So it could be fall or winter. And also when they say that, that might be what they want to do, and then there could always be a delay. And
I will say, when you get the chance, go listen to because they just have the little teaser trailers, but the music for this.
I was just about to ask you, is it Mrs. Green Apple?
No, it's not Mrs. Green Apple.
Oh, but you know that'd be sick.
I do.
The story alone kind of reminds me of Battle Angel. Like the manga was a lot more lengthier, and then they only had the movie for Battle Angel, but you know, the whole upper crust society where they have everything, kind of like a Elysium movie where it's like, you know, hey, the wealthy elite is up here, and then their trash gets dumped, and then in Battle Angel, that's where she comes from, is, you know, she's the garbage, and then, you know, they use that garbage to build weapons and cyborgs to fight in the arena.
There have been a few tracks from the OST that have been leaked that you can go listen to, and people are just like, this anime is going to be like, people are looking at this like this is the next big thing, like the music, animation, all together. But then it's one of those like 2025, like when?
When? I'm not gonna lie, I looked on Reddit because I started looking it up as you were talking, and I had to scroll through some stuff because people are going in, like they're going in right now about this show. So I'm trying not to read every comment, but some dude I guess is bitching about, is it really that good? And people are going after this person, like, yes,
it looks like it's gonna be. So
one of the people that's responded was, it's a fun read, but I always find it funny that a criticism is that it's too fast, which I think objectively isn't true. Not enough has happened, especially when compared to the first 85 chapters of comparable modern shonen. So that already tells me that, like, whatever this world is based on and whatever it's already, like, even shown in what the manga has, that, like, the fact that you say not enough is like, that means to me, like, there's so much more. And to what you're saying, Willie, of like, this is the next thing, that makes a lot of sense, is it's gonna go on for a minute. Like, this dude even like compared it to Old Piece. I'm reading One Piece. He said even something older. I was reading old. Even something older like One Piece, where by 85 you're wrapping up a certain arc. You had fleshed out a few of the main cast and created some detestable villains. I guess this one's still, like, someone said it feels like not enough has happened yet, and someone actually said they think it could benefit from moving faster, and that the artists sometimes might have to, like, maybe take a bit to get their bearings, but it's still like starting off. This is, again, his opinion of someone on Reddit, so please don't. I haven't read it, so I don't know.
When you look at the comments too on the YouTube, people are just like, like this is the most amazing thing. The music, you even have the band that does the music commenting on here saying, you know, this is great. Like they did the music before seeing the animation. They're like, this is great animation. It was a big pleasure working with you. We'll be finishing the soundtrack soon, so everyone can enjoy the full soundtrack behind this crazy made animation. Big love and thanks a lot. So like I'm sure the music will be here. We'll listen to the music and like get even more hyped before we even get the anime. Hopefully the anime comes sooner rather than later, but
I'm
the
glad
hype
they
that's behind this, like I try to just be as level-headed as possible, because the last thing I want is to be coming to something so overhyped and it not meet
Yeah.
expectations. You know, I don't want to be let down, but like I said, I came across this like 2 days ago when I was doing research, kept looking. The more and more I read into it and looked into it, I'm just like, you know, what do I have to subscribe to read this manga? It's already
Yeah.
saved. I just need to sit the fuck down,
Well, I think
turn the
it,
TV off and read this shit, because I'm stoked.
to me, by the teaser, it's like they're kind of keeping a lot of it, the story close to their chest. And if
Yeah.
they've got
See, I agree.
85 volumes in,
Yeah.
and they're just now starting to, if people, you know, the slow burn is a good thing if you're trying to build for the long haul. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Take your time. If it takes a while for me to meet the first real nemesis of the main character, that's cool. That time I spent, I know that main character inside and out. I feel their drive. I know what motivates them, why they're doing this, you know, what their weaknesses are. You build all that, so when it comes time and they do start rolling and the speed picks up, you're not lacking and feeling like, you know, oh, we missed out. So take that. I think, in my opinion, I always say take the time, make it good.
Yeah.
Don't speed it up so everyone else can get to the action, because action can get dull, man. If you're sitting there just watching people fight it out all day, or
Yeah. If
not,
it's not done right, you're just like, what's the point of this? You know?
Yeah.
just watching them hit and speed and fast and hit and like. I think you mentioned it, Willie, and it stuck with me because I was asking about the Chinese animes. You see some of it's beautiful action. You know,
Yep.
these guys are sword fighting and they're all over the city, and you're like, wow, this is really. But then, you know, Willie was like, well, there's not, you just don't have a whole lot of story to follow it. So I'm
Mhm.
like, that to me would lose me, because, yeah, it's badass to see these guys clash with swords, steel back and forth, and sparks, you know, all these special effects. But then if there's no meaning behind it, I don't give a crap who won.
Yep.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like that.
Like
That
I'm
matters.
not emotionally invested because I don't
Yeah.
know who I'm rooting for. I don't know who I want to win. I'm just like, damn, they're both getting fucked up. But
Yeah. Oh,
I would
wow.
like to be rooting for somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
I want to be like, oh no, get up, or
Yeah.
yeah, stay down. You know.
yeah.
So, but we are at hour and 40 in. I don't know how
Alright.
many more you guys
We were
have.
supposed to discuss at hour and 15-ish. we
Oh.
were gonna go.
We shot past that.
Well, what we can do, I'll say this: we can, whatever we have left when we come back for the next show. Well, now when we do put this on your radar, we can talk about the upcoming things that we haven't talked about yet,
Okay.
if that works.
Yeah, because I still
I'm
got
super
2,
down.
possibly 3 to talk about. So I'm cool when if we want to pick this up again.
I have like 6 more.
Yeah, so we'll reconvene.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Hey, that's
like,
cool though.
yeah, it's amazing.
I'm
Like
learning.
you
I've
said,
gotten a list, so
I
Same.
appreciate us doing the research to not just go right to the sequels and the big season 3, season 2, season 4s of things coming up, because it could have been too easy to talk about those. But talking with you guys, the recommendations you have, because I know Eric put his in the chat, Jacci didn't, so I didn't know she had like
I
fucking
didn't.
full clips left. You know, I got another mag, you know,
yeah.
which is dope because it's just added to my watch list. So I will
Yeah.
never not have something to watch, and I appreciate that. You know, like when I get to the end of one, I can just start the next one. So I'm much appreciative. But before we wrap it up, I will say that again, on the radar thing is dedicated to our homie Kapachi, who was here, and he's on the mend getting better. So he was here earlier, Appreciate you jumping in, giving some comments and giving some insight. As always, he's in the group chat putting us on to some new stuff again. So most of our knowledge and stuff, it may look like it's coming straight from us, but our guy's steering us in the right direction. So Kenpachi, get better.
Kenpachi, thank you, sir.
Yep. Get better, and we hope to see you soon.
Wait, are we ending the live yet?
No. We're going to go
good.
to back to our regularly scheduled programming. Stand by.
Okay.
Okay, we back. Did you have something to say, Jackie?
Well, we're ending the show, so I think.
Another shot. Okay.
I drank all my alcohol because we were done.
Okay, hold on. I'll be right back then.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. Because when you're
such a liar, as he says, all my alcohol's out. He's such a liar. He knows.
When you stay ready, you never have to get ready. You know?
Exactly, Eric. Even if you got a long day tomorrow, at least have some apple juice or something.
He's gonna get something. Don't shame him into drinking.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just shaming him into drinking juice.
But while he's getting that, I will say this is I love when we get together. I think it's cool that we kind of space the shows out. It gives us time to miss each other, and then when we come back, we're like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get tiring, and it gives us time to do the research, so where we can, really talk and hopefully put some people on to not only great creators, great studios, great products that are on the way, but just overall, just a better enjoyment or better understanding of anime coming from like 3 completely different people. So this is dope, and couldn't do it without you and the homie EJ. So I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me.
Oh, my heart. No, I think every time I do this show, I always learn something new about either the way that anime is produced or written, or we always talk about studios, and sometimes because we talk about so many different studios, I always forget what the shows are that are under each and every single studio. And so when we talk about it more and more and more, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the studio that does this. Like that's even better. Like, oh, now I'm really looking forward to that because I know the studio made 5 now. But going off the cuffs though, or like just initially talking about it without doing any research, I wouldn't have known that unless we did stuff like this.
And again, shout out to Jeff over here from USDN. Amanda was in here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. She does an anime, the pop anime. And I believe it's the parent site is Pop Break. If you want to just throw that in the comments, so
Amanda
I can bring
does
it up,
Pop Break,
so people can show up and see the because she also digs anime as well. She is
nice.
She is a One Piece fan through and through.
Oh
yeah, you guys were fangirling over One Piece when you were talking about your favorite ending, and you were like, "This is my One Piece."
Oh yes.
They stopped doing them for like 8 years, and then they brought them back, and everybody's like, "Yay!"
Yep. She was there. I remember that now.
Yeah,
I remember there was someone there, but there's always so many people that will comment randomly, and I can't see the comments. Willie gets to see all the comments. I can't. I try to pull up Facebook and see, but it won't show up for me, so I can't ever interact with everybody.
Well, see, I got the comments going, and I tried to like pay attention because CJ from Nightmares and Nerdscapes is throwing up a lot of like horror related tidbits.
So you're in the
maybe I'm doing it wrong. We'll talk about offline. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
But no, it's just when it's on the YouTube one, I can't easily respond back. So
yeah, it's all good. But shout out to everybody that tuned in today. We do have, if I can, like I said, slightly brag about the things that we are doing. The Eat the Cake Anime YouTube channel is up and going, and we would like for you, if you could, YT. Oh, I was like, what? Right. Huh?
Right?
No, YouTube.
I was like, what? What's going on?
What is happening?
What is
Jack,
No.
you're taking over. No. But the Eat the Cake Anime YouTube channel is here. We are populating it with the videos now. You see the full episodes. Episodes 9 and 10, which we did our anime openings and endings. Obviously, we are working with YouTube to try to dispute some of the copyright claims some of these guys are putting out.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're just playing the music. We were giving some commentary over it. And so we're waiting to hear back. Worst case scenario, if you want to go and check those out now, they're over on the Dat Feeling Patreon, free of charge, public for everybody, no paywall behind those episodes. We just want everybody to check those out. And we will be putting up episode 12, where we are talking about our favorite ones from winter of 25 or winter of 24, quarter 4 of 24. And obviously, this one will be coming out where we're talking about what to look forward to in 2025. So when you get a chance, stop by YouTube. We are at Eat the Cake Anime DFPN. You see it right here on the screen, and we'll throw it in the description as well as you're watching it. So feel free to stop by, follow us. Smoke Pit is over there as well. USDN is over there as well. The DFPN channel is still a thing. We still go live there as well. So if you want to catch us doing the live stream over there, you can do that as we are doing now. So stay tuned to everything DFPN has their hands on YouTube so you don't miss anything. That is my shameless plug for everything we do here. Anybody got anything to add?
Nope. Watch us, subscribe, be with us, drink with us, watch anime.
Oh, we didn't do our shot yet. Did you guys
Yeah,
take
we
your
did.
shot already?
I'm still
did
drinking
not.
the regular bit.
Oh, okay. Here we go. And here's to signing off from another amazing episode. Thanks to all the anime heads that tuned in with us.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
ooh, with the Smoke Pit shot glass, Jackie. I see you. Here we
Cheers,
go.
cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Everybody else,
Whew.
take care. Peace.
Bye-bye.